Hey guys, I raised my cholesterol almost 200 points in less than 24 hours. So that's, you might think, what the heck is going on with that? It's kind of interesting. So a lot of discussion has been going around lately about the so-called lipid energy model. And I think this sort of kind of supports that. And so what do I mean that? So I have a little cholesterol monitor. It's called ForaCare. These monitors are generally accepted to be within about 5 to 10% accurate. So I think they're reasonably accurate. And I confirmed those tests, multiple times just to make sure the numbers were where they should have been. They were generally close each time. So anyway, yesterday, after driving back from Canada, I had been around 24 hours fasted, something like that. I just didn't, and I sat in the car most of the day, just driving. I slept, got up, packed, got in the car. It's about a 5-hour drive or something like that. So by the time I get home, it was around 5 p.m. I hadn't eaten in a little over 24 hours. And I just said, well, let me check my cholesterol to see what it is. And it was 156 milligrams per deciliter, which is considered fine. It's considered normal. It's considered your cardiologist or your family physician would be completely happy with that number, And I've been carnivore. I haven't changed my diet. I've been eating meat and eggs and a little bit of butter and a little bit of, that was it. That's pretty much all I've eaten here recently. And so that's what the diet has been. So total cholesterol of 156. Why was it? And that's a little bit on the low side for me. Normally it's running 200, 220, 230, somewhere in that neighborhood. But why might it be low? And how can we tie this into the lipid energy model? Well, lipid energy model says that when you are in a state of being relatively fed, you're going to traffic less energy in your blood. Your liver's not going to push that fat out there, particularly if you don't have a lot of glycogen or you're not using a lot of carbohydrates. And so in that situation, I was, even though I'd been fasted 24 hours, I didn't do anything. I was kind of sitting on my butt. So I really wasn't utilizing all my glycogen. There's no reason for me just sitting in a car. So I got home. And then what did I do? Well, then after I take the total cholesterol, I did a workout because I wanted to I did some rowing, reasonably intensity for about 20 minutes. And then I hopped on a bike for about 20 minutes. And I went for about a 40-minute walk. So I did some, moderately intense exercise, I suppose, in all combined. And then I went to bed. I didn't eat dinner. I was like, I just don't feel like eating. I'll do it tomorrow. And so I went another 13, 14 hours and then rechecked my cholesterol again. And this time it was 346. It's a 190-point jump in cholesterol, nearly 200 points in in about 14, 15 hours. So why would that be? Well, according to the lipid energy model, as I exercised, I depleted my glycogen stores. As I fasted for longer, I further depleted my glycogen stores. And so now my cells, my muscles, my peripheral cells are really hungry. They need some food, but there's not a lot of glucose to give them. There's not a lot of glycogen. So where are they going to get it from? Well, they're going to get it from fat, because that is kind of what my metabolism has been used to running on. So I'm trafficking more fat in my blood here. And the 200-point jump is quite impressive. However, when you think about it, I am, an athlete that trains really hard. I mean, when I tied the American record on rowing a couple of weeks ago, my blood glucose went from about 80, 85 to, just over 200 in the course of about 20 minutes, which means my liver can dump energy at a really, really high capacity. And so I think that has to do with just the tremendous capacity my liver has built up as an athlete. As somebody who trains and pushes very hard and has an enormous requirement to, kind of fuel the muscles that I have, or the other tissues. So anyway, it's an interesting experiment, but you think about it. Had I gone to the doctor yesterday and said, hey, look, my cholesterol is 156, the doctor would have said, he would have pat me on the back, good job, keep after it, whatever. But if I go in today, he'd be like, oh my God, open the cath lab. This is an emergency. You need to be on a statin. And you need to be on a statin for the rest of your life, perhaps. You think about this, and this literally is happening every day. People are going to the doctor, and based on a single cholesterol reading, one single cholesterol reading, they may be put on a drug for the rest of their life. You think about that. So the lesson of the story here is you can't just trust one lab, right? It changes all the time, and it can change dramatically, particularly in people that maybe exercise a lot, are really lean, and perhaps that are on low-carb diets. So which one do you trust? I mean, which number should I use, right? If you were my doctor, which number would you use? The 156? Or would you say, well, hey, you shouldn't exercise. You shouldn't fast. My God, it's going to kill you, right? We know that exercise and fasting potentially have benefits. Certainly not eating all the time has benefits. So interesting to see more sort of, I guess, confirmation of the lipid energy model in my view. It certainly that would explain it more than anything else. Can anybody think of another explanation? What else would the other explanation be other than that? All right, guys, take care. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.